Blog Talk Radio.
Cannagenix, where quality meets innovation. Greetings, Hempsters. This is your Hemptrepreneurial host, Tyler Hemp, broadcasting from HempAware Radio. It's another glorious day in California, and I am so pleased to be bringing you the most vital, insightful information about the hemp industry, the most cutting-edge products, the hempsters, the cutting-edge hemtrepreneurs. And it's been over 15 years since I've been involved with the hemp industry and empowering and hemp-educating people around the world. And it's just an honor and a privilege to be doing what I love and connecting with others that are doing what they love, bringing value and insight and knowledge and education. If there was one thing that I could do for the rest of my life, it's exactly what I'm doing now. My mission and vision is to discover what your dream is and what is your purpose, and to do whatever I can possible to assist you in integrating and weaving hemp into your dreams. So hemp is not only one of the most powerful and abundant sources for food, shelter, and clothing, but it's literally a vehicle for manifesting peace on earth. It's a symbol of love, peace, and harmony. And on so many levels, it's the vehicle to literally create a paradigm shift on the planet. And the more people that I see utilizing and integrating hemp into their projects, the more companies that I see utilizing it and people putting it and integrating it into their lifestyle, the more I'm fulfilled. And on today's show, I have awesome hemtrepreneur Andrew Follett from Pennsylvania. He's full of energy, motivated, and committed to bringing his customers high-quality, integrous hemp goods while raising awareness and educating about the amazing benefits and value that hemp brings to our environment, our health, our economy, and communities around the world. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce Andrew Follett with Cannagenix and Follett Health Solutions. Andrew, welcome aboard the HempAware train. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Tyler. I appreciate you taking the time.
My pleasure, man. So I'd love to introduce you to our listeners. For those that may have not heard of you at this point, tell us a little bit about your background and what inspired you to be an entrepreneur, and especially in the hemp world.
My background consists of quite a few different areas. I'm a machinist by trade, but I've done many years manual labor as a stone mason. I have a HVAC universal certification. Graduated from local college for advanced refrigeration and cryogenics. My favorite industry to work in was the power generation industry, which I was in for the better part of the last 8 years. That involved manufacturing and quality process for bearings and turbine components for the coal industry and the atomic power generation industry. My background as an entrepreneur really starts with hemp. It is not only one of the fastest growing industries and vertical markets, but there isn't an industry in a market that hemp can't advance that market or make the product better in some way. So when I decided it was time to make money for myself, it was a no-brainer to use hemp as that vehicle because of the nonstop positives that are associated with it.
I love it. So you have an awesome background: stonemason, power generation industry, HVAC certification. You know a lot about engineering, obviously, about design, about building, about power, energy. So when you came across hemp and saw the innumerable benefits, you decided, all right, this is it. I'm putting all my chips in. I'm going into the hemp industry. And you started Follett Health Solutions and Cannagenix after that.
That's correct.
Awesome. So before we go any further, what are your websites, or where can people learn more about Cannagenix and your organization and what you're up to?
Cannagenix information can be found at KeystoneCannaProducts.com. That's Canna, C-A-N-N-A. Via Facebook at facebook.com/Cannagenix, C-A-N-N-A-G-E-N-I-X. We also have a Follett Health Solutions parent company page, which is facebook.com/Keystone Canna Products. Those are the best sources of information to directly contact us or really see what we're up to at the moment. Beyond that, there's a lot of reposts and retweets and things of that nature that can be found throughout the Internet. We've done some articles with our local newspapers, daily local news, and there's quite a few publications in the Philadelphia area that pick up on those. So a good old Google search might do your best.
I love it. Right on. I have yet to visit Pennsylvania, but my beloved Hempress is from PA, so one day I look forward to coming visiting you there in a hemp field or coming to check out your spot. That'll be really fun.
That would be excellent. Last week we passed our medical bill, and this week we're going to sign our 2 hemp bills into law. So it's a pretty exciting time for us here in Pennsylvania.
Most certainly. Absolutely. So share with us a little bit more about your product line and what inspired you to choose the particular products that you guys are distributing and bringing to the market.
Our product line right now consists of food products, some industrial items. So on the food side of things, it was important to me to bring the hemp protein and hemp oils in right at the beginning. Main reason being is the benefits of hemp versus the other proteins on the market. Where you have soy, just soy as in a whole, you have individuals who are very against the GMO. It's really the byproduct, and it's good to get away from that. On the whey side, being a dairy product, you have a lot of vegan and vegetarian individuals who it's very important to them not to source any of their nutrition from things like cattle or animals, for that matter. So bringing a product that's plant-based protein to the market that has all of your long-chain fatty acids, all your essential amino acids, that still has plant sterols, and it's alkalizing because it's a live plant matter, was a key. There's a lot of people out there that use protein and a ton more that can benefit from hemp protein. On
Absolutely.
the flour side, we also do a flour, the baking industry. There's a ton of mom-and-pop shop bakeries, custom cupcakes and things like that. And I thought it would be good to bring a gluten-free, allergen-free hemp flour to market so that now not only can the home baker get their hands on extremely high-quality flours that are gluten-free and allergen-free, but also your artisanal shops have a completely new market that they can open up with the addition of something as simple as one ingredient, hemp flour.
Right. That's beautiful. So you've been developing clientele that are integrating it into their baked goods and helping just increase the quality, increase the protein level, the fiber, the mineral content of whatever foods they're currently preparing.
Absolutely. Every day we try to contact as many people as we can.
Excellent. So I noticed on your site you guys you have a kind of investment opportunity section. Are you guys currently looking for investment? What are your plans there? Are you looking to partner or get investors, or what's the picture look like in the future with that?
As far as investments and partnership goes, I would like to partner with anybody who wants to open up hemp in their market. From the fresh out of high school to the fresh out of business school to the retired and have 15 companies and want to advance humanity through hemp. I'm interested in anybody who is interested. Right off the bat, anybody can bring hemp into their market with Cannagenix products and do what I'm doing here in Pennsylvania in any state. The most important part about legislation and moving hemp bills through different states is creating markets for that product. It's very important to have a buyer for an item, especially a plant-type item. It grows in one season, but you have to be able to sell it in one season. We have to make sure that we're putting one foot in front of the other during this process in each state. And I feel it's very important to build the markets in parallel with opening the markets.
Absolutely. Awesome. So anyone that's a newbie, anybody that's been in the industry, anybody that wants to integrate hemp into their product line or into their projects, we run parallel in that fashion. So I love that. Rather than competition, I perceive us as cooperation. We're really operating together to fulfill a higher mission, a higher vision, and ultimately bring hemp to the people. And one of the sections on your site also is CBD oil. Are you going to be getting more into that sector and start providing CBD-based oils? Is that something that you're passionate about as well?
Yes. So on the CBD side of things, the 2014 Farm Bill Act really opened those doors. But that Farm Bill, it put some parameters in line. So, source has to be considered, type of material, where the oil is being sourced from the plant, things of that nature. There's a lot of speculation and doubt when it comes to CBDs, but I just remind everybody that cannabis sativa is cannabis sativa, and cannabidiol from agricultural hemp is the same cannabidiol that's from your not agricultural hemp. As far as the endocannabinoid system is concerned, those compounds are the same, can benefit anybody's body through the endocannabinoid system, regardless of what cannabis genre you would say that's coming from. Right now, there's a lot of branding. There's a lot of products on the market. I'm more focused on doing private label manufacturing for companies and sourcing the right material for them for their projects. So we do a lot of import work. We have a lot of relationships around the world with multiple different countries, from Switzerland, Holland, Bulgaria, Romania. The list goes on. But each one of these different regions and areas has its benefit for the knowledge and the history they have with certain cultivars. So it's important when somebody wants to get into the CBD market is, where is my material coming from? Is it legal to import and ship throughout the interstate commerce in the United States? Is the soil clean? Is the oil clean? There's a lot on the checklist, and we pride ourselves in going through that checklist and making sure that our customer and their end customers get the best material possible and the best manufacturing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I appreciate that, because there really are. I've seen and heard kind of sketchy things on the whole cannabinoid and CBD market. So it's important to have that quality, chain of custody, or being able to see where it's coming from, and quality soils, quality grow, operations. So I appreciate that and totally agree. So I'm curious, obviously you're doing the hemp foods, working with the essential oils and CBD products and the bulk hemp fibers, the herd material. What is your favorite hemp products that you've actually seen on the market, or maybe something that you're envisioning that's coming into the future that nobody knows about? What is that product that you would love to see more of, and that's your favorite?
The product that I'm most excited about is the plastics from hemp and the hard resins. There's not what I have seen yet. After this radio show, that some people come forward. What I would love is some plastic injection molding companies or plastic companies in general will reach out and contact us. We have source for pelletized hemp resins for plastic injection molding. As far as hemp plastic goes, it's biodegradable. It's a plant-based source, no chemicals, and I'm really excited about that. I'm also really excited about hemp in the power and generation industry as far as supercapacitors are concerned. We can make amazing supercapacitors through a graphene replacement made from hemp. So as far as the nanotubes and the current supercapacitors are carbon-based, we can make really amazing power storage units using carbon tubes that are developed from the hemp stalk and hemp herb. And there's a lot of good science behind it, and it's there. It's doing amazing things.
Most certainly. I like that.
It comes down to the larger companies that are willing to go green and take that step. So that's what I'm excited about.
Oh, that's probably the biggest industry. I mean, if we can switch over to hemp-based power generation and supercapacitors, I mean, seriously, that's going to revolutionize the entire planet. And really, switching to the alternative, plant-friendly, harmonious substances for our energy consumption, I think is the number one thing that we need to consider next to food. I mean, food is obviously essential, and getting hemp protein and high quality proteins into our body. If we're not alive, power doesn't matter. But those are two industries that I think are absolutely crucial for hemp, and I totally agree with you. And for the listeners that are tuned in or hearing this, I would go check out supercapacitors. Type in hemp and power generation, or energy production, hemp batteries, hemp fuel. It's crucial. It's coming up, and as Andrew mentioned, there's definitely a lot of research going on at the moment, and it'd be great if you could get involved and do more research. So my next question, I'm curious, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome, or that you see that you might have to overcome in this industry, and how have you been able to overcome them, or the issues that you foresee in the future? What are your plans, or how do you plan to overcome them?
Right now, my biggest challenge is overcoming the years of negative and false propaganda that's really been pinned against the cannabis plant and the cannabis industry in general. It started as a tax with the Marijuana Tax Act in the 30s, but it opened up industries for other people, and it closed down industries for those who were in it. Our founding fathers they knew the importance of hemp for our republic. That's one reason why we fought the Revolutionary War where we did. George Washington specifically planned around the hemp fields. They could make the clothing. They could feed the soldiers. They could do everything they did because of the tri-state area, the hemp fields from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, Lancaster County, Chester County. That whole area, I mean, we're not far from Gettysburg, so to give you an idea about where we're at, about 20 minutes west of Philadelphia. But it was the largest hemp area. All of our founding fathers grew hemp. They knew its importance. And just like a lot of things, it's slowly been taken from us. I would like to get back to our republic roots, our freedoms and our liberties that our Constitution and Bill of Rights gave us, so that in the future nobody has to go through the hurdles of negative propaganda for something so beneficial as hemp. Those hurdles I take them head on, one by one, whatever it may be, whether it is the association of hemp and marijuana, or whether it's somebody saying that CBD oils from hemp are not as good as CBD oils from a kush or from a dispensary in California. There's a lot of individual obstacles, but just like any problem, where there's a will, there's a way. You can find a way through it with good education and good research. Information sharing is key in this. The more information, more truth we can share, the better off we'll all be.
Absolutely. And as Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, talks about, and I'm sure many other great thinkers have expressed, that within every adversity or every failure, every challenge is the equivalent seed of success. So I commend you and appreciate your commitment and your willingness and ability to overcome those negative conceptions or perceptions on the cannabis plant. And I think we're making some phenomenal progress. More and more people, as far as, Sanjay Gupta and Dr. Oz and Dr. Weil and, major television stations are broadcasting the truth about hemp. And there is still definitely negative propaganda and negative messages out there. So having people like yourself is crucial to dispel the hempnosis, so to speak. So thank you for that. And we've kind of already touched on it. You said power generation is your favorite part of the hemp industry and the energy aspect. But if, you could see more of a particular product on the market, in addition to energy, what other products would you like to see more of? Other companies developing and producing, and I know you said plastics too, so we may have already covered this question. But if there's any residual passion or interest there,
there's a lot on that. There's definitely a lot on that. I would have to answer that question in this manner. It's regional. So here in the U.S., I see the hemp foods being crucial. I see us being able to save our oceans by creating aquaculture fish feeds from hemp cake rather than from trash fish. So, we're going to run into a problem some years down the road with sustainability issues. And as far as aquaculture farming goes, that's a great way to sustain our ocean ecosystems. But we have to be careful about feeding fish to fish. We're trying to save one fish by killing off another. We can avoid that. I believe that with the right team of people, we can develop a extremely sustainable aquaculture fish feeds and quite literally save our oceans from our farmland. So that's exciting as far as a U.S. market goes, and I would love to speak with some universities and even larger processors about projects like that. But on a regional issue, there's a lot of nations around the world, especially in poorer areas, where cannabis and hemp grows everywhere. They use it for a lot of different things. And unfortunately, because of the lack of information and knowledge in those areas and resources, the individuals are really sourcing the cannabis plant for drug trade and things like that without even knowing that they can be feeding their families from the seed. They can be clothing and things like that from this plant. I think globally, if we look at individual regions, we can find ways where cannabis and hemp can not only help the residents of those areas, but make their standard of living a great deal better. It's just one of those amazing times in histories with one of those amazing plants that was handed down to us. And I think with the right minds and the right freedoms, we can help people all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's a really fascinating answer and something that I haven't actually heard much of, and appreciate that. So we have just about a little over 5 minutes, and I have a few more inquiries or questions for you. What are some of your inspirations and sources of hemp knowledge, or maybe some books and movies that you've taken in, or other hemp leaders in the world that you've been inspired by that you could share with us?
I'm going to have to give a huge shout out to Les Stark in Pennsylvania and his wife. I feel so horrible I cannot remember her name. They're doing huge things. They're putting in more work here in PA for the hemp cause than anybody has since our founding fathers. Our founding fathers are a great source of inspiration for me on a daily basis for many different reasons, but I love the fact that they were all hemp farmers and openly spoke about the importance of keeping hemp close to our homes and our hearts to keep our freedoms and liberties. As far as industry, I see a lot of opportunity and knowledge from great minds in many industries. So as far as inspiration goes, you get to look at your Teslas and your Einsteins. You have to look at your I'm drawing a blank here on a couple of names, but there's brilliant minds anywhere you look if your eyes are open wide enough.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And have you kind of chosen a few books that you really like to refer to, or that you've kind of dove into in the last couple years that you've really been getting into the hemp industry, or is it more individual, personal connections with people?
I have actually not picked up a book in quite a few years. The last time I picked up a book, it was a law book to check on some local laws. Sources of information is mainly personal contacts. I would say 90% personal contact and experience. If you want to pick up, some good reads, I know that the Hemp Warehouse has some great literature, from what I've been told. So I'm sure that's a good place to start looking for information for anybody.
Yeah, we HempAware.com is kind of our hemp-educational platform, hemp-education station for every nation, and that's great. I find that personal experience is actually the greatest teacher. So, beyond reading any book, I love books. I read like 3 or 4 books at a time, sometimes even 5 or 6 books at a time, and I'm always trying to get as much information and reviewing other books, over and over. But yeah, it's crucial to have personal connection with individuals that are masterful in their field. So what are some of the benefits that you appreciate most about hemp products? You've already talked about, the nutritional content, but what are some of the other maybe environmental benefits or just, overall benefits that people receive from consuming your products or just hemp products in general?
The benefits are endless. From a medical standpoint, there's many different, let's say, products that hemp can be great for. From a nutritional standpoint, hemp offers more than whey and more than soy. It's really a one-stop shop for your fatty acids, your long-chain aminos, all of your essential amino acids. There's not another plant that can benefit you in more ways than the hemp plant. So I look forward to a day when, we can have that plant back and we can grow it again. Mm-hmm. And, people can really put their health and their well-being right in their backyard where it should be, in their homes. Mm-hmm. I was back to freedoms. Here in Pennsylvania, you could pay your taxes with hemp until 1918. And hopefully in 2028 we can do that again.
Exactly. That's the goal. Cool. Well, we just have about 2 minutes left. I'd love to hear your vision for the future. Tell us what you see happening in the next, 5 to 10 years. You just covered it, basically being able to pay our taxes with hemp and being able to grow it on our own land. But what are some of the other visions that you hold, maybe personally for Cannagenix and your projects, or just on a global level? How do you see the planet, being affected and transformed by hemp?
As a platform for Cannagenix, I see more people reaching out and coming on board and taking the Cannagenix brand into their own markets. As Cannagenix grows, Select Health Solutions will be able to grow. And the more resources we have, the more we can do. And we can take that globally at that point. Once it's a viable option financially, we can set up educational programs with the outreach, outreach programs to other nations, so we can teach these individuals that that seed can feed you. We can help a lot. The more we have, the more we can do. And as a growth, it's important for Cannagenix to continue to grow so that we can help. I really look forward to speaking with individuals who have any questions about how to get hemp to their markets or how they can integrate hemp into their product line or their business model. How can they go green? The government offers many tax credits for going green. If you want to put an addition on your building, why don't you put a hemp wall in there? It's better than zero carbon. Hemp
carbon negative.
Facilities are endless. It's just important for people to ask the questions and take the steps. There's a lot of people out there that have been, laying down the groundwork. So it's not, it's not a shot in the dark anymore.
Exactly.
We're focused. We're ready to go. We have the knowledge, the experience, the products to take the revolution to the next step, out of the notebooks and meeting rooms into full application and process.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. We're out of time. I appreciate you very much, Andrew, for sharing your message and being a part of this mission to empower the planet. I look forward to working with you in the future. This is your Hemptrepreneurial host, Tyler Hemp with HempAware Radio. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.